So here's my top 6 hedge fund career tips. It was interesting as I was looking through the registrants. We had about 1,500 people register for the webinar, and I was expecting a lot of students and people early on in their hedge fund career, but I also saw a lot of people who worked either in compliance or trading or in investment banking and other industries, and are looking to transfer over to work for a hedge fund or work with hedge funds. So these tips should apply to everybody on the call, and hopefully you find them valuable. The first is to become a hedge fund student. Read a book every 2 weeks, subscribe to free newsletters. I'll give you links to a few later. Listen to podcasts on hedge funds, read newspaper articles. Our team offers the CHP designation. It's a hedge fund training program. And then we're going to talk later about creating your own hedge fund mastermind group as well. So these are just tips on increasing your knowledge, moving up the learning curve as quickly as possible. If you're wondering how you can gain the knowledge so you don't feel like an outsider, these are some tips you could jot down for things you could start taking action on today that would help you feel more like an insider when you're going to interviews and networking with people. Next, use the 3-circle strategy we just discussed. I know I mentioned this twice already, but that is on purpose because I think this is so important. Next, use 2 or 3 career mentors. Try to find people who are willing to spend 30 minutes with you each month and give you career advice, at least within the investment industry, if not specifically on hedge funds. Next piece of advice that is probably one of the most valuable if you're looking to start your hedge fund career would be to complete at least 1 internship, and ideally 2 to 3 internships. And lots of people email us saying that they just need an entry-level job because they don't have time for an internship. And I really just don't believe that's the case for anybody. If you want an internship, you can not only find one, you can fit it into your schedule. Even if you are married with 2 kids and working full-time, you can find a hedge fund that needs, for example, leading trading indicator research. You can find a hedge fund that needs marketing research. You can find a hedge fund that needs startup help. Worst case scenario, you can work for someone 5 or 8 hours a week and gain some valuable experience and insights into how hedge funds work and how your potential role might be in terms of what you'll be responsible for producing each day. So I really encourage you to be creative, work for free until you prove your value, and then ask to be paid. Work part-time in 2 or 3 internships. Maybe all together you'll be paid enough to get by. It can be really valuable and make a huge difference in your career if you get that valuable experience versus kind of generic entry-level experience. Number 5 here, something I talk a lot with hedge fund managers related to hedge fund marketing is developing your own unique selling proposition. It's often referred to as a USP within the marketing world. And what this is something you can state within a single sentence, which is about the benefits you can provide to a hedge fund. So it could be related to, like we were talking about before, about not being generic. It could be related to the fact that although you have 2 years of analyst experience and a business degree from Boston College, you also have done a year's worth of strategic marketing planning in a business industry, and you can combine that to help the hedge fund develop their own strategic business plan or marketing plan in addition to your analyst role. So it's just something unique you can add to the table. And then my last piece of advice here, which is probably one of the most valuable within this webinar, is just to try to land the unadvertised job. All of my positions I've had throughout my whole career have been jobs which never were posted on Monster. They're never posted on the Alborn Village or Hedge World or Hedge Fund Blogger. They were positions that literally did not exist until I contacted the firm and sold them on hiring me for the position. I did this once by calling 10 firms in the Yellow Pages and met with 2 or 3. One of them gave me a job. I also went to the Alborn Village in college to get that internship with the European hedge fund and was hired by a hedge fund that wasn't hiring. And I also, while entering the third-party marketing world, I went to a third-party marketing association where they have many independent marketers that help raise capital for hedge funds. and contacted many of them, met with them, and actually got a position in that industry just by going out there and being proactive. And many times small businesses aren't actively hiring people, but they will if they find someone who's really talented who can add value to their business. So just really keep that in mind, because most businesses in the hedge fund world are small businesses.